For me, it's mostly the opportunity. Some people have the dream of going to Australia or Singapore, American dream. And while I was serving in Slim River, I was studying for my exam, paycheck to paycheck, because every single cent I earn spent on either the exam.
Today on our episode, I have a special guest, another batchmate from medical school who has made her name for herself on the world stage, a board-certified nephrologist in the United States, to one of the speakers at TEDx talks and in various prestigious institutes. She's also now a founder of a company which deals with personal branding, and she has her own YouTube channel called the House of Jia. Welcome, Jia Hwei, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me on the Middle Hustle podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my absolute honor to be on your podcast, Shafiq. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jia Hwei. I probably didn't do justice on your resume, and especially the last part about the personal branding. So I'm intrigued myself. Do you want to start by telling a little bit about what happened after medical school?
Oh, yes, happy to. So after medical school, I served in Malaysia for 3 years. And then I came to the US to do residency and did my fellowship in nephrology and actually did a switch and started doing research and was doing research for the past 5 years. And throughout that journey and working with writing papers, working with leaders, and I realized to move up the chain or to get promotion, it is no longer about the skills because when you're at operating at that high level of competence, everybody's intelligent, everybody's great. And then I learned that you need something else, all the soft skills. You need presence, you need personal branding, you need to build your reputation. It is those people who not only focus on the smarts, but to actually look at all the other surrounding things that started to improve. And I went into that journey of studying it myself and starting applying it for myself. And that's how I got into different positions in a nonprofit, in as executive positions, and also going on stage. So to me, what I've learned as a service to people, both women and men, is that how we can do beyond just going deep into medicine and studying books, but actually start opening our eyes and elevate ourselves through different avenues. And that's why I started House of Jia, where we work on personal branding, reputation architecture, and executive presence.
Wow, it's amazing, Jaho. It's very interesting as well. I mean, I'm just going to step back a little bit. What made your move from Malaysia? You worked. I mean, I worked in Malaysia as well, in Sabah. I did about 4 years as well there. What made you decide to move from Malaysia to the States?
For me, it's mostly the opportunity.
Yeah.
Some people have the dream of going to Australia or Singapore. I had the American dream. And so while I was serving in Slim River,
Yeah.
I was studying for my exams and
Mm.
really paycheck to paycheck because every single cent I earned was spent on either taking the exam or flying to the US to do one of those observership
Yeah.
or doing a clinical exam. So
Mm.
it's every month studying, flying over, and then coming back, earn money, flying over. That happened over 2 or 3 years until I got into residency.
The
But
ma-
ultimately, to answer your question, was to have the American dream of
yeah.
getting something higher than myself.
Absolutely. I think it's like, as your resume speaks, you've done really well for yourself and you've possibly achieved that American dream, Jahui.
Oh, we can always strive further. So
Yes. Yeah.
I'm always happy to talk about building mastery. I think that's,
Yeah.
to me, that's the most important thing is um, self mastery because all
Mm.
of us have a different purpose or different dream or different soul purpose in this lifetime. So it's up to us to find what it is and to pursue that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember following you when you were doing your early research papers, because I was in that space as well, and I was following you how to write research papers as well.
Mm.
So that was very good. So what made you do that as well?
Okay. So it actually all comes in with one same theme, which
Mm,
is impact.
mm,
Where I went into medicine to help patients, and after a few years, I learned that I'm helping one patient at a time, and I felt like there's a desire to do more, to help more. How can I help not just 100 patients, but 1,000 patients? So then I thought, oh, what if it's science and research? Because one research paper can change the science of medicine, can change the trajectory of medicine. So to me, writing a paper means, or coming up with a good project means helping 1,000 patients. And then the next layer is if I can help 1,000 physicians or researchers move medicine, now I'm even multiplying my impact. So it's 1,000 times 1,000 physicians, then it's going to be 1,000,000 patients. And so to me, it's all about leverage
yeah,
and looking for the things where the smallest thing I could do that can give the biggest impact.
yeah. That's right. That's right. Are you still doing that? Are you still doing research?
Yes, I'm still an active researcher,
Yeah.
and what I'm not doing anymore is to coach people
Mm,
on writing or coach people on academic research.
yeah.
I've moved more on consulting for personal branding and executive
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah, so I was just going to come to that. Now, again, as again, our mutual friends would say, I think you really kind of lit up, as the slang goes now. You spoke on TEDx talks. Do you want
Mm.
to speak about that? Do you want to tell us a little bit more?
Yes, I spoke on two topics.
Yeah,
One was more on um, the specific title I don't remember, but
yeah,
it's about medical misinformation. How the story came from how my father is always forwarding WhatsApp messages to me on either YouTube or Facebook, and it's always forwarded thousands of times. And hey, did you see this? Did you see this oil that you eat? Or this is not good for health. And so I give a talk about that.
yeah.
That was my first one, and I felt it wasn't very good.
Mm,
I think everybody grows. The first
mm,
stage is not as good. The first presentation is not good,
yeah.
and then I went for the second one, and that was more closer to my heart. It was called um, the importance of storytelling or data storytelling, because at that time I was deep into research, and two things were happening. One is there's a lot of data, but people can't understand that data. So it's really important to translate that data into a story, then people can take that story and use it. And it was the same in medicine as well, because patients will have all these numbers, and in the US, patients actually get all the reports in
Mm,
the electronic health system. And they actually have access to the notes, they have access to everything, but it's all data, but they don't know how to understand it. Either they go into panic mode or ignore everything. So it's my job to make sure the storytelling of this data is really important. And when I explain to them and they get it, you can almost see the relief in your face, or it moves them into doing the right things. So to
yeah,
me, that was really important. The story was important,
yeah.
but it was also the presentation, because this is my second one, and I've learned many things about writing the script, about presence of stage, how many times I had to practice, the gestures, walking across a
Mm,
stage. These are things that it's it's not something you develop naturally. You can practice, and so
mm.
that would be one of the biggest learning point, not just for me and just to the audience. Is everybody, if you want to do something, you can definitely improve and you can work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's 100%. Jia Hwei. You said about misinformation. I think even right now, it's even here, my mom, my mother-in-law, they send all these things, especially in the subcontinent. Exactly, use this
Yeah.
oil, use eat this type of fruit, do this sort of exercise. And sometimes, again, being a medical professional, you got to kind of sieve through all this,
Yes.
and you gotta get the right information, especially evidence-based medicine. I mean, there's always that traditional aspect to it, the Ayurvedic, or
Hmm.
in my culture, is Ayurvedic medicine. But yeah, you're spot on that, Jia Hwei.
Right,
So,
right. Now, I would want to say just
yeah,
because it's not proven doesn't mean that it's harmful. So I think
correct.
even as a physician and as a daughter,
Yeah,
it's important to give grace. And if your parent wants to give you advice, I think the best gift for them is to give them, they want to feel like they're relevant. They're still your parent and they want to still give you value. I think sometimes the best gift is say, thank you. Okay, I will try that. Yes, as long as it's not harmful, take that advice and let them have that moment.
agree. No, that's absolutely right. When you said, how does one, like, I know you said you had to, there was a lot of training and preparations to like you said, presenting yourself, the hand gestures, the nonverbal cues. How does one get onto a TED talk or get onto TEDx? Is there you get
Mm.
picked, or do you get selected or something like that?
So the first thing is there is a difference between TEDx and TED.
Yeah. Okay.
So TED would be much bigger stage where usually the people who are invited to TED, the main TED, they are already industry experts.
Mm.
So usually you can't get there until you already know.
Mm.
But the TEDx is more of independent little TEDx of different cities. So a university can create their own independent TEDx. So for example, I went for um, several different ones. I tried. One was in Connecticut and one was in Toledo. So at two different locations. And sometimes it's a university, sometimes it's a library. It depends. The trick actually is to funnel and look through all the application. And the application itself is the most tedious work. And so you have to have your pitch. What's your story about? What's your through line? And then usually they want you to prepare a 30-second video, a 60-second video, a 90-second video, or a 2-minute video because each TEDx have a different application requirement. So I got a coach who guided me and said, these are the requirements of that are standard to all. And so I prepared all the different versions of the video, of the pitch, the story. And so then we just have to, every time we find one, we plug and play depending on what they wanted. And so it's a lot of grit with that and also finding the theme and see whether it matches or not. There are some people who just go, uh, you throw a lot, you just keep applying to everything under the world, and then you get like, oh, okay, just by doing so many, you get picked. You can do that, or some are a little bit more intentional. Either way works. There's no right or wrong. It's
Yeah.
about um, how much you can handle rejection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I have to say I'm speechless. Is that a pun intended?
Oh, speechful.
Speechful, amazing. I even off camera, Jia Hwei, I'm just simply just at awe at what you're doing right now. It's just like I said, I remember where we were doing med school and where you are right now. It's just haven't you just kind of broke the what's that glass ceiling wall? Is that glass ceiling?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Break the glass
yeah.
ceiling. Yes, I think
Break the glass
that's
ceiling.
yeah.
Yeah, amazing,
I
amazing.
know, and
Yeah,
I would like to also point out
yeah.
because traffic probably has seen me when I was very shy. I don't know where I was at that time because when I was really young, I could not talk to anybody. By the
Mm,
time I got to med school, I've broken that. I could speak to people, but then it just got more
yeah,
and more and became braver. So just because anybody who is shy or
yeah,
afraid does not mean that you can't do it. People who have seen me in my past would have
yeah.
seen an evolution.
Absolutely, 100%. I think I saw that evolution. Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Jia Hwei, now I just want to talk to you. So I just again back to the TED. Is that only based in the States, or is it all over the world, or
No,
you have to
all over
come
the world,
all over the world?
all over
Okay.
the world. So people tend to go to the local is easier
Yeah.
because if not, you can't travel everywhere.
Yeah.
They want you to commit to attending if they
Mm.
choose you.
Yes, yes. Now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about your new thing. That is it new? I mean, this House of Jia, this personal branding.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
new, six
it's
months.
6 months. Wow.
hmm
Again, I've just looked at your website. What was the inception to this? I know you said a little bit in the earlier statement, but what kind of brought
hmm
this on? Like, what made you decide to do this?
Um, I think it. I learned from two things. One is to find something that comes natural to you and something that excites you. When I find myself thinking about presence all the time, when I go into a room, I'm observing people like, oh, that person has presence.
Hmm.
And and then I don't end there. Some people are like, oh yeah, they do have presence and they move on. But I am the one who will geek out on why is that? Is that the way they move their hands? Oh, the bag they choose. Why did they choose that bag? Why did they choose
Hmm.
that outfit? Why did they choose a hoodie and not a suit? And the other person, why did they choose that? So I'm always watching all of these, the body cues, and it's not just the body, but their direct environment, like their personal environment. Sometimes you go to people's office, you can see,
Yeah.
wow, this person's office is a mess. And they open their laptop and the desktop is a mess, right? So
Yeah.
you know, then you start to make judgment about them. But you're not being facetious. It is a judgment because
Yeah.
then you see when you work with them, they are a mess. So then I start to form a framework in my mind. Oh yes, presence is
Yeah.
um, based on multiple things: the body, the mind, and the heart. It's not just one thing. It's every part of our body, our mind, and our soul is broadcasting signals like neon lights that people, if you're not aware of it, you're just broadcasting all of this thing about yourself and you don't even know about it. So it's not about shutting it down or not doing anything about it, but if you want to come up as a particular persona and you want to be perceived in a certain way, then how do we intentionally frame it? So
Hmm.
I got into that whole rabbit hole and thought, you know what, I want to work on this myself and help people with that. And so
Yeah.
I started going into it. And what I really loved was the whole evolution of from that to thinking about the business and even coming up with the idea of the brand name. And the brand name actually means a lot to me, and it's actually several layers deep. And so the name is actually House of Jia.
Hmm.
And although on the surface is the name, my name Jia in Chinese actually means Tia, it means home.
Hmm.
And the same word in Chinese actually means artisan, master. So the House of Jia is where you yourself needs to come back home, your soul needs to come back home to yourself, number one, and to develop yourself as a master, an artisan. So House of Jia actually means um, being a self, being a student of yourself, to be a master of the best version of yourself. So that's why to me, it's all about achieving yourself and seeing yourself beyond what your previous version is.
Oh, amazing, Jia Hwei. So, again, that way how you layered that name as well, that sounds very very unique as well. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
when you say presence, like, is there like how people like, for example, if I was to come and approach you,
Mm.
can anyone approach you? Like, how do you what are the steps involved for that?
Oh, you mean how to work with me, or just in
Yeah.
general how I
Yeah.
how I work?
How would you, if a client was to come up to you and say, I need to improve on my presence,
Mm.
how would you start off? Like, what's the
Yes.
process like?
So the first thing is diagnostic,
Yeah.
about understanding where they are right now and where they want to be. And the most common one I have is the the trouble between jumping from a smart, intelligent person, the individual contributor, to a leader or being
Mm.
seen as an executive. So I need to understand where they are right now and then where they want to go. And how do I figure out where they are is through me directly observing, seeing how they speak, asking them questions. Sometimes they will tell me that, oh, I'm really good at one-on-one. When somebody knows me, I'm very influential. But when they see me for the first time, nobody knows me. So then
Mm.
I know, okay, it's the first impression. We need to work on the body, the somatic presence. When they see you, the visual appearance, the body language, and because people can't assess your mind and your soul when they can't even assess they if they don't even see you.
Yes.
So we will work on that first. Then
Yeah.
the other would be, oh, the charismatic one. They're like always jovial, very funny. You know, when they come, they change the mood of the room. But then when it comes to serious project, they don't get it because
Mm.
they're always like horsing around, and people don't access. They people don't perceive their mind as being intelligent or wise or being executive. So we're gonna work on that because they may be leaking too much of playing energy. They're leaking too much of emotional dysregulation. Like they're leaking too much of unnecessary things. And an executive needs to control. They need to regulate. They need to calibrate things. And when you are swinging from happy to losing temper, they don't see you as an executive. So we'll work towards that. So a lot of diagnostic first, knowing which area you're strong at and which area you're weak at, and then we can work together on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people resonate with what you've said, Jia Hwei, and I'm probably one of them as well. If
Where, where do you think you are? Are you more
I,
of the
I feel like I'm very good on one-on-one. I feel I'm very good at one-on-one, and especially people who know me. I think people who know me, then they will sort of, because I've sort of become, in my view, I think I've become an introvert. So
mm,
I've become an introvert, and I'm not into very loud. Yeah, I'm just very quiet to myself. I'm very quiet myself. And but people who know
mm,
me one on one, I think they bring out that I'm more comfortable with them. I'm comfortable in their presence. I'm talking about friends. I'm not sure about my patients though, but yeah, I'm very quiet. All my patients says I'm very quiet. I'm very soft spoken. So yeah, that's probably me
mm.
at this stage. Yeah, but
That does not mean it's bad. It's a different type of energy. There are different
yeah,
type of leaders.
yes.
So it's also important to know how they view you because
Mm.
there's always this gap between where we think we are and what other people perceive. And
Yes.
sometimes, like you think that you're very introvert,
Yeah.
right? And then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
person when they talk is so loud." You
Yes.
know, you never know. You never know.
Yes.
So you actually do need the external feedback
Yeah.
as well.
Exactly. But what other people perceive of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How would you? I mean, let's say if somebody, our listeners out there, and if they want to sort of, I'm talking to you, and if they want to approach you, are you just dealing with people based in the States, or do you do all over the world, or like how?
Mm.
Yeah? What sort
Yes,
of?
it's all over. I have a few clients in the U.S.,
Yeah.
but I also have one in Singapore.
Okay.
So I do international as long as we can find a time to meet.
Okay.
So I'm sure we can always find. It's probably
Yeah.
if it's international, then it has to be Zoom call.
Yeah.
Most of the things we can experience it through Zoom. I
Yeah.
do intend to have in-person events. Like I am very excited to launch my first in-person private salon in January in New York City this month,
Yeah.
and then my next one's probably in Singapore. I'm thinking of maybe Dubai later, maybe Australia. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
want to go to major cities.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I'll put your website down in the description, Jia. If people want to, you know, look you up or they want to get in touch with you, they'll be able to find you there. Oh, I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
wonderful.
I'm really excited. If you do come down, let me hook. Let me know.
Yeah, we will do Australian
Yeah,
events.
Australian event, and if I'm happen to be in Singapore, we can do a Singapore event as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh, that
that's
will be
good.
very fun, very fun.
That's good, Jia Hwei. Jia Hwei, I mean, from any okay, now coming back to a little bit about the not personal life, but based to your, did you find out you're based in the States, specifically in New York? There's a lot of talk about, and you've elected a new mayor as well. How did
Mm.
that go? Was that?
You know, because I'm not in New York City, I'm
Yeah,
in Long Island, so it doesn't
Long
really
Island.
affect me.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't
okay.
really affect me.
All right, all right.
But people, the day to day does not change that much,
Yeah,
other than everything gets more expensive every year. That's
I
one
think
thing we notice throughout.
I
So
think
it doesn't matter
it's
who gets elected, everything
correct.
just keeps getting more expensive. That's what
Correct.
we
I mean,
notice.
it's everywhere as well. Here in Australia, everything is skyrocketed and tax is high. I'm one of my channel is all about the middle class and the challenges and the successes. And everybody I speak to, everyone says the same thing. Everything is going up and up. Wages are not keeping up. But yeah, I think it's a
Mm.
worldwide, it's a global problem. Global problem.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
The middle class gets squeezed a lot, and
Yeah.
because the employed person,
Mm.
the wages are
Yes.
the one that gets taxed the most.
Abs-
So
as,
depending on the appetite of your
yeah.
audience, to get out of it is sometimes starting a business where you
Yes.
get
Yeah.
yeah.
Where you sort of, yeah, you have to try and get yourself out of that loophole, if I'm
Mm.
saying it right. Do you any regrets or going to the States, or do you feel like, yeah, you did the right decision?
Mm. I never have regrets
Yeah.
because this is from my own philosophy or personal belief that everything happens for me. Um, I I have something, something where I've seen it before. What they call it, lucky girl syndrome. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm the type who, when I want to find parking, it's going to be right in front of the door. If I want to go fast, all the green lights will turn. But I think it's also the mindset because if it's red light, then I was like, oh great, I have more time to finish up this podcast. So it's all about the mindset. And when you think back of all the misses and mistakes and things that did not go well, the eventual path always seems to be better. So one
Mm.
example was me not matching into the US the first
Mm.
time. So what I mean matching is when you want to get into a position, a residency program, you have to go through this match system. So
Yeah.
you have to match to a university. The first time I did not match, I'm like, oh, that's it, I'm done. And after a day of feeling down and all, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try again. I've worked like 3, 4 years for this. I'm not going to give up just because of one time. And so I
Mm.
did another exam. I did more observership, made sure all my paperwork were ready in time, and tried again. And the second time, I got to a good place, loved the program director. Somehow, my husband came here. Oh, and also, like another thing that happened is the first place was going to sponsor my visa or green card, but they dropped out. They say, no, we can't do it. Right? It looks like on the surface it's a bad thing. But for some reason, my husband got his green card, and then I got my green card really, really fast. If I had to go through the whole same process, if I matched the first time, I would not even have that same green card. I would have to go back to Malaysia, serve for 3 years, then come back again, all sort of complication. So just because I did not match the first time, I had all of the benefits right now.
Yeah.
So you really never know. You really never know.
Love it. Love it, Jia Hwei. Well said. Well said.
Mhm.
What's your industry like in a decade, 5 to 10 years? How do you sort of see society, healthcare, or how does your industry sort of, yeah, how do you sort of see yourself in 10 years time?
That's an excellent question. Because AI is such a big thing right now, right? AI is so big, so big. There are two camps. Like my husband is a tech, he's diving deep into the best models, the coding, learning all about AI.
Yeah.
For me, I'm opposite. I'm gonna go completely personal, um, bespoke, in person, anything about body, anything that is um, back to human nature. I'm going into that because
Mm.
what I predict in 10 years, the body skills is going to drop down. People won't know how to have manners. They don't know chivalry anymore. They don't know how to talk to people. They're going to lose all of these skills because they're only talking to the computer. They may not know how to do eye contact. So I'm gonna lean into that. When I lean into that, when the people are going to, in 10 years, they're going to say, hey, I am lacking in that skills. I'm here ready to teach them. So that's my strategy. And that's where I think you either go full IT software AI, or you go, let's go back to human nature and see how people work together, connect, and have fun together.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely. I agree with that because if you see on YouTube, there's a lot of AI clones that they clone yourself and they just talk. Sometimes you don't even have the need to have the person there. You have an AI
Yeah.
clone talking. But yeah, I think there's two camps. You can either go all the way tech, or you can all the way go down to being very personal. And
Mhm.
like you correctly pointed out, if
Yeah, and there's
tomorrow,
no right or wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
would
not
say
right or wrong.
but that's where I see the gap is.
Yes.
And I'm predicting the gap,
Yeah.
or I'm predicting the problem that people will have for the next
Yeah.
10 to 50 years. So I'm
Yeah.
leaning into that industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope it works out for you, Jia Hwei. Yeah.
I'm certainly will work out.
Yeah, it will. It will. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
work out for you. You've done really well for yourself so far. Now, if you had a time machine and if you had the opportunity to go back in time, probably maybe in your, I'd say, maybe when you were 15 or 15 years old, what would you tell to your younger Jia Hwei?
Mm, let me see. 15 is
Oh
Form
yeah,
3, right? Okay,
from fifth,
okay.
15 is from 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What I would tell that the old me is that your scores are really not that important. Yeah, that like, nobody looks at my PMR, SPM scores other than A levels. After
Yeah.
that, nobody looked at it anymore.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
scores are not that important. However, what I would say to Jia, because I don't want Jia to think, oh, okay, if it's not important, I'm not going to study. What I would tell her is that learn the skill of learning. Learn the skill of learning, because I think that is the biggest lever anybody can have. If you know how to learn, wherever you are, if you, let's say, have an issue, you go to bankruptcy, you go through, you lose your job, whatever bad situation, if you can learn really fast and you know how to adapt, you can get out of it and you can even thrive above it. So I would say the exam scores are not that important, but use that time, learn as much as you can and learn the way of learning, and try different activities.
Be curious.
Yeah.
Be curious. Very good. Very good, Jia Hwei. Is there anything that I've missed that you wanted to talk about today?
I would say use this time to connect with as many people as you can. Like how Shafiq has used his platform to connect to his old classmates, to old friends, to a point where we can have a conversation to enlighten others. And it's not just for others, but it's also for me to connect back with Shafiq. So I think to me, that's
Honor
the most beautiful. Thank you so much to be just on your platform and connecting with you in such a deep manner again.
Thank you very much, Jia Hwei. I really appreciate that. And I think that's about it.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here. Thank you so much.